question is, why does OtterTune default to P99 query latency as its target objective? Are there any situations where a customer might use something else like throughput, CPU utilization, or read-write IOPS?
P99 latency stands for the 99th percentile latency. And this is a measurement of how long it takes for the slowest queries in your workload to actually run. And by optimizing this, OtterTune can make the slowest queries in your workload run faster. So it'll make queries that are maybe not in the P99 also faster, but it's really about making the application feel faster, feel like you can execute quick queries more quickly. The other objective functions that OtterTune supports includes throughput, CPU utilization, IOPS. The two probably other most useful ones are going to be IOPS and CPU utilization. So IOPS is useful for environments like on Aurora, where the pricing model from the cloud vendor, in this case Amazon, is based on IOP usage. So by reducing your read-write IOPS, you end up paying Amazon less for your database. For CPU utilization, we find this is useful for customers that want to improve the efficiency of their instance and to possibly do consolidation, taking multiple database instances and putting them into one box, or also downsizing their instance size. For throughput, this is typically only useful for workloads where the arrival rate of queries is fixed. It's not necessarily determined by the arrival rate of users using an application. So in that environment, if you're trying to say, how fast can I shove this sort of fixed amount of queries through the database system as quickly as possible, then throughput would be a good target objective for that.
I know we have a blog on why we kind of default to P99, and I just want to make sure I kind of understand. I guess it's my understanding, but like with something like throughput, it seems like a lot of times you could have these troughs and valleys, and how hard the database is getting hit, depending on the workload. And it seems more if like you already have a database that's already overutilized, throughput might be good, but otherwise P99 is this kind of more consistent thing. So if you optimize that, it's just going to kind of help the overall database.
So again, so throughput is the numbers of queries are showing up per second, and essentially how quickly can you complete them. And if OtterTune has been designed to support production databases, so as much as safety mechanisms we have in place to work on production databases as well, having any outages. And so in that case, because if it's a production database, the arrival rate of queries is oftentimes dependent on when users or customers are using the application that is based on the database is supporting. And so that way, we can't really control when queries show up. And you see these peaks and troughs because that's the diurnal pattern of humans, that they use applications during the day, they sleep at night. And then there's also downtime on weekends and holidays as well. So again, this is why throughput is maybe not the best objective function to get sort of the best performance out of your system. And P99 is just the, how long does it take to execute a query, no matter what time of the day or whether it's a business day or a weekend or whatever. It's just how fast can that query actually run. So again, for this reason, OtterTune defaults to the P99 because that's for 99% of customers out there, that's usually the right thing to optimize.